Can you? Yeah, I forgot to put down the mic inside. I've been talking to myself for 15 minutes again. If it's not the stream that crashes, I forget to put the mic in the thingy mabob, the computer. Can you hear me now? Uh, I don't like talking, and I just talked for 15 minutes by myself, and now my mouth is dry. uh, Thank you for telling me that I have no mic. Like, people that are gonna watch this stream are gonna think, wait, what? Where's the sound? This holiday time is killing you? I'm sorry. There's no rush for the illustration. I have this character sheet to do, and I can publish this, so don't worry about finishing the Niels page. Family dinners, lunch, man. Yeah, I'm not too fond of those either. Because it always goes into politics. I don't know how Italians are, but Romanians love to talk about politics, and I just always gets very annoying when I have to talk with people that have different political views than mine and that I consider very detrimental, and I just get really upset, where I meet people that don't think black people are worth anything or don't think that women are worth anything, and just having to talk with people like that is so, so, so exhausting. And I'm just gonna try and find a corner where I can just go and sit there and not not make eye contact with anybody. Cause I mean, at the end of the day, I'm the one that gets upset. They're not the ones that get upset. Here the same, yeah. Yeah, everywhere is the same. Like I had some American guy and was like making stupid jokes with he hates Romanians or something like that, and he's gonna shoot him, and I was like, what kind of a joke is that? It's not funny, and I was just confused. Some people have some weird humor, but this was a long time ago, like Easter, not now. uh, but yeah, I I just wanna crawl under a warm rock and sit there and wait for spring, because it's really cold now here. We had to change the battery for the car because it stopped working, so that wasn't fun. I wonder what I'm gonna do with the video on YouTube, because I don't have sound for the first 15 minutes, and they took out that option where you can put information over the video. Like there were those tags that you can, for example, if you upload a video that is incorrect, You can just put a little tag over and say, I meant to say this, but I misspoke. Here is 90 degrees today, but it's so windy. I think we had minus 25 last night. So I would take 9 degrees over that. Although I don't like the mud. I mean, here is really nice. It's full of snow everywhere and looks really magical and pretty. Yeah, I think, let me see if I can like see the history. Weather, Michigan. So now it's a warm minus 9, minus 10, but can I see in the past? I mean, I don't know if it got minus 20, 23, I think it was, not 25, 23, but last night, what was it? I know my husband looked at the temperature and he said that it was 22, minus 22.7, so almost 23. But I don't know how it got at 4 in the morning. Um, yeah, I don't see like in the past where I could go. It gets really cold here in Michigan. Like the winter that we had before we came here, it got to minus 40. Minus 40 degrees Celsius, and apparently that's minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit as well. That's a point where they meet. The thermometers don't go much lower than that. Minus 4 or in London. Well, the thing is that you have the whole frozen Arctic, yeah, uh, in Canada, and you have absolutely no mountains or ocean to block all those cold winds coming in, and it's the air is very dry and very cold. And it's pretty uncomfortable. That's why Michigan is so sparsely populated. The population density of Michigan is half of that of Romania. I mean, in Romania, you have all of those Carpathian mountains that block most of the Siberian winds. So Moldova gets hit hard every winter, but the south is doing fine most of the time. Here in Romania, now in Romania, it's pretty warm from what my sister tells me. So it's they don't even have snow. Pretty warm compared to Michigan anyway. And Bucharest is in the south of the country, so it's like farthest, and you have the mountains as well. And you also have the Black Sea and the Mediterranean Sea, so you have humid, warm air coming from there. It's okay for them. So I don't know, can I still put tags on my videos to kind of explain, hey, I'm sorry, I was stupid, I forgot to put the mic in the computer. Skip to this minute to, because I can't cut that part in the video. I don't think I can. Stream health still pretty bad. Let's see. I'm gonna look for the old character sheet because it's so detailed I don't remember all the details. Well, I got a notice a few times ago saying that something was not possible anymore. Yeah, so they removed that, but what can I do? No, no, no. That was the notification that you can no longer do those things, but didn't put the right color, it seems. Hi, Kezar. But maybe it wasn't. Let me take a test. If you have the time, please do. I would like to know. What's up? Uh, Nothing much. It's holiday. We're just sitting around. Actually, I want a bigger contrast in this. Nope, too much. Oh, there we go. Late Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too. Crăciun fericit. Oops. It's good that you missed the first part of the stream because I forgot to put the microphone in the computer and I was talking to myself and I was trying to say intelligent things and all of my intelligence got wasted now. It did not get recorded for posterity. You can add links, polls, website. I want nah. Can I edit the video after it's streamed? Can I cut like a piece of it off? Because I mean anybody that's gonna click on the stream is not gonna understand what's going on. I mean I can write in the description, but what you doing? Some character sheets? Yes, I'm doing the Ginger Tabby Ninja Babysitter. Just realized I didn't put the right colors on the character. It's just been been all over the place with this with these days, the holidays. I'm really scatterbrained. Yes, you can still cut some parts. Awesome, that is what I want to do. Uh, Seems to be good so far. I'm gonna start getting in the details. Hope my internet connection is okay for you, Caesar. All the way into Romania, I can still watch and hear and understand me. I've had horrible internet. I'm still surprised it hasn't crashed yet. Last few streams I had to cancel because I just couldn't stream anymore. Every 5 minutes it crashed. But it seems to be going so far so good. Yeah, the stream looks fine. I'm surprised. I'm like, yes, thank you, God of Wi-Fi. Our internet options are very bad here. Although I shouldn't be complaining to you, June. I mean, yours I think is even worse than mine. And we're both in first world countries and our internet is just garbage. But as the saying goes, first world problems. Getting her face here. I should have chosen a different base color than white, and it's kind of peeking out from everywhere. Oh, a reminder for those of you that might be watching this video afterwards and are subscribed to my channel, I'm doing a art giveaway. So to participate in that, you have to be subscribed and leave a comment with what you want to win on the giveaway video. And if you go to my channel, you can see it there. It's like one of the first videos. The giveaway winner will be announced on the 2nd of January 2018, so like in a couple of days. And I'll be giving away a illustration. I'll do a illustration especially for the winner, so he can ask he or she for what they want me to draw and I will draw it. Be something small like a chibi illustration because it's a small milestone. So when I get to like a bigger milestone like I got on Facebook, then I'll do something bigger like when I did for Facebook. But for small milestones I do like little illustrations, and for big milestones I do big illustrations. I don't know what I should say, like if I should say something for the new subscribers that I've gotten, but they're mostly for the Stardew Valley videos, so I don't think they'll be watching those. Kind of thinking, what should I say? My sister said she was gonna come to stream, but I guess she forgot. She probably fell asleep. They have to like wake up at 6 in the morning for school. So she goes to bed super early. That's why she doesn't even watch my streams usually. But she got into watching Stranger Things, so we have a new fan. I wonder when the Stranger Things 3 is gonna come out. I haven't seen any date announcements. Am I still streaming? Yeah, I'm still streaming. No Christmas vacations. They have Christmas vacations, but like it's hard to change your schedule. Um, she wants to stay up later than usual, but she falls asleep anyway. Like most of the year, she gets less than 8 hours of sleep, and the curriculum is pretty wild. Like they keep getting new stuff added, but it's not really balanced out, and the old useless stuff taken out. So uh, their schoolwork, it's like crazy. The teachers are complaining all the time. They're trying to do the best they can. Yeah, it's okay. Sure, it interrupts sometimes, so sorry if I disconnect. Oh, so your internet is bad as well. Compared to the internet here in the US, I kind of feel that I had better internet at home. I don't know exactly the technical details. It's mostly my husband that knows, and he complains about the internet way more than I do. Um, he's used to different standards because he lived in a village that was a scientific what do you call it, institution there. So they had fancy pants, good internet. So the internet that we have now is beneath his standards. I've never seen such fast internet as he had, so if I wanted to play a game like Witcher, I had to wait for a long time before it would download, but for him it was super easy. Usually newer networks of internet have much more connection speed, I guess it's called. So the line that I was on was pretty old. So I've never known the high speed that he had. And color these. I miss sunny good weather. There's so little of it here in Michigan. And we had a super wet summer, so it was a lot of floods everywhere. it rained a lot, so we couldn't go out bicycling. But hopefully next summer will be better. Also, might be able to take a vacation because he's gonna have more free time, so I really look forward to that. Maybe we'll travel a bit. That'll be nice. Okay, gray and then green. Hi Anna, how are you? I have internet. Some internet. Not a lot of internet, but I have some. Yay. I'm so fancy. Da-na-na-na-na-na. I've got internet. I don't remember from what song that is, but it's like songs like these keep getting stuck in my head. I don't know where they're from. It's really annoying. Yes, I am back to civilization. I mean, I had some internet, but it was like really, really crappy. I could only post screenshots, and it would take forever to upload a video, and it would keep crashing and stopping. It was so annoying. Good thing it was like the holidays, so um nobody was gonna come and watch my stream anyway. It was Christmas. Okay, what do I want to do to her face? Yeah, the eyes. Horrible choice to do the art vector. Anything I draw in vector is just so stiff and unpleasant, and like, I don't know. Never been able to do anything very good in vector. Yuck, that face horror. Slightly better. She has like a really bland look on her face, but that's kind of what you have to do when you do a character sheet. You can't have them very lifelike. This mouth is far too wide. I'm gonna move it a bit. Hmm? Doesn't seem too crooked. But I feel like the nose is not aligned with the rest. Eh. I can do only very simple things in vector. You know the time it takes you to make a leg is so long in vector that It's really not worth doing in Illustrator anyway. Because I mean, this is vector as well, but the vector in Clip Studio Paint is just so much better. But when I say it's hard for me to do something in vector, I mean like in Illustrator where I have to draw each point. And it's really not useful. That's useful for if you want to do labels and stuff like that, but if you want to draw a character like I tried to do because I thought it was a good idea, you end up with some pretty crappy stuff that you're not gonna like. It's kind of fake vector? No, it's not fake vector. It's what all illustration programs should be able to do from the start. I mean, I don't know why more programs are not giving you the options that Clip Studio Paint is giving you. It's not something revolutionary and mind-boggling. The Photoshop guys are just lazy. Let's call it what it is. They've always been lazy. Or the owners of the Photoshop are just greedy and they don't want to pay some Asian people to do this. Yeah, but you can't export it like a vector. What? Let's see, Epus. Because you should be able to, but I'm not exactly sure. Um, let's see. Save as. Yeah, I don't have Epusu or SVG, which I don't know why they didn't do that. Because you should be able to, come on. I think maybe they were trying to be sneaky here, but I don't know. You should be able to. I see no reason why you shouldn't be able to. You also can't export PDF if you notice that. And all of these formats, PDF and yeah, I mean no, but PDF is kind of something that Photoshop did. So although you can export this as a Photoshop file, so it's not that they didn't want to cooperate with Photoshop. I don't know why they didn't do it. It seems like something that you should be able to do. I guess they just didn't see a point doing it, or their users never asked for it. I mean, if if you're using Manga Studio to draw and to make manga, and you need to export it JPEG for the websites, um, I mean, I think at least PDF or something like that, because some printing companies prefer that since it keeps from having artifacts in the image. So I think it's just oversight on their part, or maybe they didn't have any significant number of requests for this, and they were like, why should we bother to do that? But I mean, I'm not a programmer. I don't know how long these things take, but I think they just didn't think of it in the beginning, and then it was too hard to put it in. Because I mean, some games, if you don't make them multiplayer from the beginning, then to get the multiplayer in the game, it can be really hard. So it's just better to do it from the beginning and only have one person playing, and then unlock the multiplayer later on when you have time to implement it and you have money for servers and stuff like that. I mean, I think it's easier for your life from what I understand. I finally tried the symmetry painting in Photoshop. How was it? I don't have that because I have an old Photoshop. But I do have it in Clip Studio Paint, so I should get into learning that at some point, but I've just been really lazy about learning. I think I tried mostly in what's that program called? PaintStorm. This had some really interesting features and I played around with it, but I don't know, I just never got into PaintStorm. It was pretty limited in how big a canvas you can make, and then it stopped working properly, so it's just meh, I don't wanna waste time learning it. Although the things you can do in PaintStorm, I keep wanting to go back to that program and do something, but I'm just like never in the mood to explore that again because I know it's gonna take a lot of time. I got what's it called? Let's see. DaVinci Resolve, which just renders super quickly, but the buttons are not in the same place, the settings were a bit off, and I had to read a lot, and I was just, I'll do it later. But I really wanna use DaVinci because Premiere Pro from Adobe is just garbage. Garbage. If I hadn't gotten it for free, I would have never used it. I used it at school and it's better than Avid in my opinion, but the price tag is just ridiculous and the abilities that it has. I do have very old Premiere, so maybe the newer one is better, but I doubt it. Like always, the way that they allocated resources in Adobe programs was pretty bad. Like I'm now using Affinity Designer for vectors, and when I come back to Illustrator it's a mess. Uh, you mean that you transfer the file from Affinity to Illustrator? You have like displacement of assets? Or what do you mean? Oh, I forgot to put the window up so you guys know what I'm working on. There we go, I'm working on an ear. Yeah, there are some things like transparency that doesn't work the same way. Mm, I had issues from uh, newer Adobe Illustrator into older Adobe Illustrator where the mask, if I put a mask on a gradient, it would um, remove the mask, like you wouldn't read it. So I get, instead of a certain shape, I would get just a flat square. Vector sometimes gets splitted. Yeah, I had that as well. I'm just blaming Illustrator on that. It just doesn't want to cooperate with its own self, let alone other programs. Horror, that face. Okay. Try exporting it as EPS and not as a Adobe Illustrator file. What container do you use to transfer the image from one program to another? It's even worse. Usually I had less problems. No, I think I had less problems with PDF. I'm trying to remember because it's been like 4 years since I. No, it's been 6 years since I had to. I think his. Yeah, I think PDF I had the least problems. With EPS, I think I remember having issues, or with no, with SVG I had issues. EPS I think was second best. Yeah, with PDF it preserves best. So PDF was best at preserving, then was EPS, and then SVG. The problem with SVG that I often got was it would. So if you had a yellow square, let's say, and then you had a green square over it, it would turn these two shapes into three. So then if you wanted to move something, it would leave a hole in your yellow shape, let's say. So that was really annoying. Groups get ungrouped and so on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that was the issue with SVG, if I remember correctly. But it's been like 6 years since I had to work with these. Unfortunately, I don't have to anymore. I hope they fix the issue. Well, I don't think that's an issue they consider worth fixing. I mean, it's been such a long time since the issue has been around. I don't think they're gonna fix it anytime soon. Especially since nobody owns SVG format, I think. Yeah. I mean, the printing houses that I worked with always asked me for either the Adobe Illustrator because they tended to have the latest version than everybody else, so there wasn't an issue. Like rarely you would have a company that had like an ancient Illustrator and it would not be compatible with what I would give them from a current Illustrator. So what they usually asked me for was the PDF file. You give them a PDF file. Sometimes, I mean, at first I would give them EPS because I knew that that was the best. But then they were like, no, 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 give us PDF kid. Yeah, you should know by now. This stuff, I mean, we've kept transforming it for you, but you should know better. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I'm a noob. I'm just new to the company, to the workplace, to everything, and like nobody's teaching me anything. Thank you for telling me that I was supposed to give you guys PDF. I mean, why didn't you say this before? I kept sending you these files for half a year and episode EPS. I'm like, why didn't you tell me to give you PDF from the start if that was the best one for you guys? And they were like, every time we didn't have time to reply and tell you. I'm like, seriously? It's like a sentence. Like, next time send us PDF or else. Period. Illustrator or Corel Draw. Yeah, haven't had many companies back home in Romania use Corel because just a lot of them started using Illustrator, and I think a lot of them got it cheaply somehow. There were a lot of programs to get the program to people, and a lot of them had it the old version and then they updated. And I guess that's how it was so widespread. I mean, I don't remember if I ever encountered a company that had Corel, and I think even though they had Corel, they had like both programs, Corel and Illustrator, just to be sure. And that one was like a bigger company that had to deal with a lot more files. Yeah, Affinity looked like a really nice program. Like a good alternative to Illustrator. Because the prices have gotten ridiculous. 40 euros per month, come on. For them to find things like the cut layer. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Like, make a file for it and uh, put everything like that on one file if possible. I usually didn't have to deal much with things that needed to be cut to a certain weird shape. Um, if I ever had one of those, they would come and put it by hand on the machine. So I would just keep the design in the middle, just not put any text there, but still have like flowers or whatever needed to be, like horses or whatever. And then they would apply the stickers to the vending machines, and they would do that by hand. So they really didn't need a cut layer. But yeah, I don't know, like for different machines, maybe they do need stuff like that, and if they need to assemble it somewhere. Like boxes, usually, like that, those ones need a cut layer that needs to be properly printed. Yeah, yeah. Because you need to leave bleed and then the layer for the cutting on top. Yeah. It can be really annoying. I mean, I got a Cricut machine to cut some of the things for. I wanted to do some stickers for the comic, for the book, the Ernest and Coraline USA tour book. And the machine just didn't wanna do things properly. I was super upset because it was expensive and the machine is very good. It's just the software that it's absolutely crap. And I wasn't able to do any of the things that I wanted without wasting a lot of material. Krika does have a print and cut option, but it's like for only 68 inches, but the whole platform is 11 inches. So I don't know why they're wasting so much material. I just stopped using the machine and I gave it a bad review everywhere I could for the program. Cause it's unacceptable. I mean, a lot of people were super happy with it and giving it good reviews on the internet. And my husband believed those reviews and he surprised me with the machine like, "Yay, here it is and you can do all these awesome things with it." And I believed him. I was like, "Yay, awesome. Thank you for buying it for me. What an awesome gift." And then we kind of both realized, what a scam. What incompetence. I was so upset with all the money. And actually, a older version of the machine had a older version of the program before they screwed it up. Um, so, so that was actually a better option, even though the blade didn't have the same versatility. I remember, like you couldn't put as many tools on it because it has like a little thing that can hold. It can hold a blade. It can hold a scoring tool that after you score an image, you can bend, score a piece of cardboard. Then you can bend that cardboard and you can make some really interesting origami or boxes out of cardboard. So we're really enthusiastic about it. It can hold pens and pencils and other writing material, and you can write on things with metallic markers or stuff like that, because printing with metallic ink is super expensive, but I don't have the best handwriting, so I thought, oh, I'll just put a metallic marker on the machine and it can write with a beautiful font. So I don't have to stress too much about ruining the box if my hand slips or something like that. So it has, the machine is so awesome and has such great features. It can, a lot of things it can do, but the programming is so bad, so bad. Horrible. It's been a few years now. I think it's 2 years since I got it. So I should check and see if if maybe they changed the programming. But what I really hated and I didn't know before I got the machine was that you could not use the machine unless you were connected to the internet, to their server. So I have the machine, I own the machine, and I can't use it unless I connect to their server, because they didn't give you a program that can work independently and you can use your machine independently of the internet. So I have to constantly be connected to their servers if I want to use the machine. Which is just ridiculous. What are we, a police state? Like, why do I have to be connected to your servers to do my work? I mean, even Steam, if you don't have internet, it does cloud save when you get to have internet again. I mean, a lot of features you can't use unless you are connected to the internet, but you can play your games if you're not connected to the internet. I mean, this is ridiculous. And if we knew that, because nobody said anything about it in the reviews, I think. I mean, I don't know at the time, I didn't see any. If I knew that, I think I would have changed my mind if I knew what a hassle it would have been that their program wasn't working online well and stuff like that. So I hope they got their head straight. Should check and see the program again. But I just got so angry and annoyed last time I used it that I've just let it gather dust in a corner. Hope it hasn't rusted. I mean, it shouldn't have. Let's see, am I still streaming? Yes. But if you're like a handy, crafty kind of person, having one of those machines is really nice. And I'm glad that more and more companies are doing it because it's a really fun tool to have. You can print and cut things, you can make a lot of boxes or custom paper designs, and it can cut through felt, through um, all kinds of cardboard and paper. It can cut through thin plastic, and like I said, the fact that it can hold a metallic marker is really nice, or a metallic pen. And then you can illustrate things with like a gold or silver color, because printing with metallic colors is just ridiculously expensive. I looked at the prices and I nearly had a heart attack. But then again, I've also seen some posters with metallic paints and they look so beautiful, and I was thinking, wow, if I can do some paintings like those Asian paintings, with the gold highlights. Those look just so beautiful with either cranes or lotus or stuff like that. I would adorn my house with all of those. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the Cricut to do anything good. Like, it was so hard to have it synchronize with the image that you print. Like, it will always be in the wrong place. Unless you did something really small, like 6 to 8 inches, then it would overlap properly. But then what do you do with the rest of the paper? And I didn't want to do something small when it had so much room. And I was like, meh, forget this. And I got some actual gold colored paint, acrylic, and I did my paintings that way by hand, and they don't look as great because I don't have an undo button. I mean, it's so hard to draw traditionally when you've drawn digitally for so long. I mean, I don't know, because you guys have constantly been painting in both mediums, but I've mostly stuck to digital. So when I go to traditional, it's so stressful. Yeah, and I mean, I prefer watercolor because if you make a mistake, you can like still blend it a bit and then draw some with some pen, some ink pen, and just do it so it looks good in the end. But with acrylic, you have to paint over if you make a mistake. And I'm so annoyed when I see one of those videos where they say, oh, it's so good to use a typewriter to write your books. Oh, it's so good to use acrylic to do your paintings because it forces you to think twice before you draw a line or write a word. And I'm like, so instead of focusing on the narrative and giving a good story, I have to always be careful about not spilling the paint or typing incorrectly. What a load of hipster bull. I think you should use whatever makes you more comfortable. I like having autocorrect on my Word documents, and it highlights the words that are incorrect. I know George R. R. Martin has like this ancient computer that doesn't do that, but I think he just doesn't like that the new Word documents have so many buttons and options. And I mean, if you press the wrong key, something happens and you don't know how to return to the initial thing. I mean, I remember in Photoshop I kept pressing Control Y by accident. I wanted to press Control T to move something, and I would sometimes press Control I incorrectly, and that if you press Control I in whatever Photoshop I have, it turns your image from RGB to CYMK. CM CMYK CMYK to the printing format, and then I would lose my colors and I would like panic and have to restart the program. And then I looked for a remedy to this, and I realized I just have to press again Control Y. Yeah, so you press Control Y and it turns it from RGB to print and back. I mean, I can show you, I think. Let's see. I had one with uh, some bright colors. There we go. Open with Photoshop. Because I have that cyan color that is really bright. So if you try and print this one, it's gonna look like crap. So Control Y, and you see all the colors are dulled out for print. And it looks really sad. And all I have to do, I press Control Y again, and then it returns. Good, bad, good, bad, good, horrible for printing. Like, you guys, whoever else is watching this video, if you want to print turquoise, don't use this much saturation. Find some other hue and work in from the start in print format, because you're gonna find out that if you do it in RGB, it looks fine on the computer, but when you want to print it, it looks like this. It looks like crap. So yeah. It's a very difficult color. I think it's the most difficult color to print. You simply do not have it. Oh, and magenta. The But it kind of turns into an okay purple. It's not bad like the cyan. Like that one is the worst. And print paper is not a very reflective color unless you um, print it maybe on plastic with a certain paint. But if you print it on paper, it's absorbent, so it penetrates the fiber and it loses all of that popping color. And I don't think most computer inks can get you that color. I mean, I have some watercolors that are very nice, but those use pigments, not dye or ink. So it's a different chemical thingy mabob. Yeah, so I think I'm done with this one. I'm gonna save it and then publish it in the coming weeks. Thank you guys for watching. This is gonna be a shorter stream because This wasn't much to do on this illustration. I just have to do the shading and uh, nothing special about that. So thank you guys for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye everyone.